Welcome to my channel Official History of Coins Place, where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding right in plain sight. The kind of discoveries that turn everyday moments into unforgettable stories. First up, let's talk about a single coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and history lovers for generations, the 1944 D Wheat Penny. This is not just any old cent. It is a tiny piece of American history stamped in bronze, and today we are diving deep into its story, its secrets, and most importantly, its astonishing value. We are focusing on one specific coin here, the 1944 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, and by the time we are done, you will understand exactly why this little piece of copper could be worth a small fortune. To truly appreciate this coin, we have to go back to the era it was born in. The year 1944 was the height of World War II, a time when America was pouring every resource into the war effort. Copper, which was essential for ammunition and military equipment, became so scarce that the USMint had to make a drastic change to the 1-cent coin just a year earlier. In 1943, the mint produced pennies out of zinc-coated steel to save copper for the war, creating those famous silver-looking cents that many of you have probably seen. But by 1944, the mint had managed to recover enough copper shell casings from ammunition production to bring back the traditional bronze cent. And that is where our 1944 D Wheat Penny comes into the picture. The D mint mark on this coin tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the facilities that worked tirelessly to keep the nation's currency flowing even during wartime. While millions of wheat pennies were made in 1944, the Denver Mint produced a specific number that has become highly sought after, and the combination of its origin, its composition, and its place in history makes it a standout. Now here is where things get exciting. The 1944 D Wheat Penny is considered one of the key dates in the entire Lincoln Wheat Cent series, and its value has been climbing steadily for decades. But why is it so valuable? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and a little bit of minting magic that happened over 70 years ago. First, let's talk about mintage numbers. The Denver Mint struck over 430 million pennies in 1944, which sounds like a huge number, but the survival rate in high grades is shockingly low. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, and as a result, finding one that still retains its original mint luster and sharp details is exceptionally rare. But the real value explosion happens when you factor in the quality of the coin. A typical worn 1944 D Wheat Penny might be worth a few dollars, which is already a nice premium over its face value. But when you step into the realm of uncirculated specimens, the numbers start to climb into the hundreds, then thousands, and even tens of thousands of dollars. I want you to imagine holding a coin that could be worth more than a used car. For a 1944 D Wheat Penny graded in mint state, especially if it has the deep, vibrant red color that collectors prize above all else, the value can reach absolutely stunning heights. The finest known examples have sold for over $15,000 at major auctions, and in some cases, when the coin is a flawless specimen with extraordinary eye appeal, the price can go even higher. What makes this even more thrilling is that the 1944 D is often found with interesting mint errors that multiply its worth. Occasionally, a few planchets from the previous steel cent production accidentally made their way into the coining presses, creating the legendary 1944 steel penny, which is a whole other level of treasure. But even without that rare error, the standard copper 1944 D in premium condition is a coin that serious collectors actively hunt for. You might be wondering how a coin that was made in such large quantities can command such high prices. The answer is simple: demand. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most collected coins in American history, and the 1944 D sits right in the sweet spot where wartime history, scarcity in high grades, and collector passion all intersect. When you have thousands of collectors competing for the same small pool of pristine coins, prices naturally soar. Let me paint a picture for you. A 1944 D wheat penny that grades MS67 red, which is the highest tier of preservation, is virtually a unicorn. The independent grading services have only certified a handful of them at that level, and each time one appears on the market, it sparks a bidding war. The last time a top-tier example sold, it brought in nearly $17,000, and experts believe that as more collectors enter the hobby, the ceiling will only rise. But even if your coin is not a perfect mint-state gem, do not underestimate its value. A 1944 D in extremely fine condition, with clear details and only light wear, can easily be worth $20 to $40, and if it has full, bold strike characteristics and a pleasing appearance, you could be looking at $100 or more. This is a coin where every little detail matters, and that makes the hunt incredibly rewarding. Now here is the part that should get you excited. This coin is still out there. It is sitting in old coin jars, forgotten collections, estate sales, and even in the pocket change of people who have no idea what they are holding. The 1944 D wheat penny is not some mythical artifact locked away in a museum. It is a real, tangible treasure that could be hiding in your own home right this moment. I have seen stories of everyday people who found a 1944 D in a family member's old stash and ended up paying off bills or funding dream vacations just by selling one coin. That is the kind of life-changing potential we are talking about. And the best part is, you do not need to be a professional numismatist to recognize it. All you need is a little bit of knowledge and a sharp eye. If you are lucky enough to have one of these in your possession, the maximum value you can achieve depends entirely on its condition and whether you get it certified by a reputable grading service. A raw, ungraded coin might sell for a few $100s if it looks pristine, but once it is slabbed with a top grade, the value can skyrocket past the $10,000 mark. I recommend having it professionally evaluated to unlock its full potential. When it comes time to sell, you have options. Online auctions, reputable coin dealers, and major auction houses are all eager to get their hands on high-quality 1944 D wheat pennies. The key is to present your coin in the best possible way, with clear photos and, ideally, a grade from PCGS or NGC, because that gives buyers the confidence to pay top dollar. Let me leave you with this thought. History is not just found in textbooks. It is found in the small, overlooked objects that have traveled through time to reach our hands. The 1944 D wheat penny is a survivor from an era of sacrifice and determination, and today it stands as a valuable piece of Americana that continues to reward those who take the time to look. So go ahead, check those old penny jars, flip through that dusty collection, and pay close attention to every 1944 D you come across. You might just be holding a coin that is worth more than you ever imagined. This is the kind of treasure that turns a simple curiosity into a life-changing discovery, and now you have the knowledge to make it happen. Stay curious, keep hunting, and remember, the most valuable finds are often the ones hiding in plain sight. Next coin, the 1945 D wheat penny. Now, that is a coin that deserves a serious conversation. At first glance, it might look like just another old cent you could find in a dusty jar at a garage sale, but the story behind this small piece of copper is one of global conflict, American industrial might, and the kind of quiet potential that can turn a casual find into a significant financial moment. To understand the value of this coin, we have to go back to where it was born. The year 1945 was a tipping point in world history. World War II was finally drawing to a close, and the United States Mint was operating at full capacity, producing coinage for a nation that was transitioning from wartime rationing to peacetime prosperity. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark just below the date, struck over 266 million of these pennies that year, a massive number by any standard. But here is where the story gets interesting. While the mintage was high, The survival rate in exceptional condition is actually quite low, and that scarcity in high grades is what creates real value. Now, let us talk about what this coin is actually made of, because it gives it a layer of historical significance that most pocket change just does not have. In 1945, the mint was using a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But here is the fascinating part. Much of that copper came from spent shell casings recovered from military training grounds and battlefields. The government had authorized the use of these reclaimed materials to conserve resources for the war effort. So every time you hold a 1945 D Wheat Penny, you are literally holding a piece of recycled wartime history, a small artifact that helped fuel the American war machine, and was then transformed into the currency of a victorious nation. The current market for the 1945 D is surprisingly robust, and the value spectrum is wider than most people would expect. If you have one that is heavily worn and circulated, it might only be worth a few cents over face value, perhaps 15 cents to $1. But the moment you move into uncirculated territory, the numbers start to climb quickly. A coin in mint state condition, meaning it has never been in circulation and retains its original mint luster, can easily be worth $20 to $30. And if it has that vibrant, original red color that collectors prize, the value jumps significantly higher. I want to share a specific market reality with you. For a 1945 D Wheat Penny graded MS66 read by a professional service like PCGS, you are looking at a current retail price of around $40 to $50. But when you push into the truly elite grades, the value explodes. An MS67 red example, which represents the top tier of preservation, can command prices over $140, and the finest known specimens with plus grades have been known to sell for $400 or more in recent dealer listings. This is a coin where condition is absolutely everything, and a single point on the grading scale can mean the difference between a $40 coin and a $400 coin. Now here is where the future potential comes into play, and this is what makes the 1945 D such an exciting coin to hold on to. Unlike some coins that have already peaked in value, the 1945 D still has room to grow. The reason is simple. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series is one of the most collected coin series in American history, and as more collectors enter the market, they compete for the same limited pool of high-grade specimens. With only a few thousand examples certified in the highest mint state grades, the demand consistently outpaces the supply, creating a natural upward pressure on prices over the long term. Let me give you a concrete example of how this plays out. While common circulated examples might not move much in price, the top-tier coins have shown steady appreciation over the years. The auction record for a 1945 D Wheat Penny currently stands at an eye-watering $14,400, achieved for a flawless specimen that combined perfect preservation with exceptional eye appeal. That is not a typo. Nearly $15,000 for a penny that started its life worth 1 cent. And while most examples will not reach that level, it demonstrates the ceiling that exists for this date when all the factors align. What makes this coin even more intriguing is the potential for discovering valuable errors. The 1945 D is known to have some fascinating varieties, including double die obverse errors, where the lettering and date show clear doubling under magnification. When you find a 1945 D with a significant double die, you are not looking at a $20 coin anymore. You are looking at a coin that can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the strength of the error and the condition of the coin. These error varieties are listed in the major price guides and are actively hunted by error collectors willing to pay substantial premiums. Now, I want to address the question of future appreciation directly. Some coins are a good hold, and some are a great hold. The 1945 D in high grade falls into the latter category. The combination of historical significance from the World War II era, the use of recycled shell casing copper, the strong collector demand for the Wheat Cent series, and the relatively small number of truly pristine survivors creates a formula for continued value growth. Coins that sold for $100 a decade ago are now selling for $400, and the trajectory suggests that the best examples will continue to climb. When it comes to selling a 1945D, the maximum value you can achieve depends entirely on two factors: the coin's certified condition and the venue where you sell it. If you have a raw, ungraded coin that looks exceptionally sharp, having it graded by PCGS or NGC is the single most important step you can take. That certified grade, especially if it comes back MS66 red or higher, unlocks the true market value. From there, selling through a reputable auction house or a major online platform that specializes in coins will give you access to the serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. I want to emphasize that the 1945D Wheat Penny is still out there, waiting to be discovered. Unlike some rare coins that only exist in museum collections or the hands of wealthy investors, this coin was made by the millions and circulated widely for decades. That means there are still high-grade examples sitting in old collections, family heirlooms, and even forgotten coin jars, just waiting for someone to recognize what they have. Every time you find one, you have the chance to examine it closely, and that close examination could lead to a discovery worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let us talk about the realistic maximum value for a moment. While the $14,400 auction record is the ceiling, the practical maximum for a superb, certified example in today's market is in the $400 to $1,500 range, depending on the grade and any error characteristics. For a coin that most people would pass over as just an old penny, that is an extraordinary return on a 1-cent investment. And as the years go by and the supply of high-grade examples remains static while collector demand grows, those numbers are only going to trend upward. The beauty of the 1945D lies in its accessibility. This is not one of those coins that you need to be a millionaire to collect or that you will never have a chance to find. It is a coin that was made in large numbers, circulated for decades, and yet still offers the potential for significant value when you find one that has survived in exceptional condition. That combination of affordability for the average collector and potential for high value for the discerning eye makes it a perfect coin for both beginning and advanced collectors. I always tell people that the coins worth the most are often the ones sitting in plain sight. The 1945D Wheat Penny is the perfect example of that truth. It is a coin with a fascinating wartime history, a connection to the end of World War II, a composition that tells a story of resourcefulness, and a market that rewards quality with real money. If you have one in your collection or find one in your pocket, take a close look at it. Examine the color, check the strike, and consider having it professionally graded if it looks exceptional. Here is the reality that should get you excited. The 1945D Wheat Penny is undervalued relative to other key dates in the series, and that means there is still room for it to appreciate significantly in the coming years. Collectors are always looking for high-grade examples of wartime coins, and the 1945D, with its Denver Mint origin and its connection to the final year of World War II, has a story that resonates. Coins with compelling stories always find buyers, and the best examples always command premium prices. Think about what it means to hold a coin that was minted in 1945. That was the year the world changed. The war ended, economies began to rebuild, and millions of servicemen and women returned home to start families and build the post-war boom. This penny was there through all of it. It changed hands countless times, passed through pockets and purses, and witnessed a pivotal moment in American history. When you hold a 1945D in high grade, you are holding a piece of that history preserved exactly as it was the day it left the Denver Mint. The time to pay attention to the 1945D is now. Prices for high-grade examples have been steadily climbing, and as more collectors complete their lower-grade sets and start upgrading to premium specimens, the demand for coins like this will only increase. Whether you are looking to sell or simply looking to hold a coin with strong appreciation potential, the 1945D deserves a serious place in your collection. Let me leave you with a final thought. The most valuable finds in numismatics are rarely the ones that are obviously rare. Often they are the ones that combine historical significance, collector demand, and a condition that stands out from the crowd. The 1945D Wheat Penny checks all those boxes. It has a story to tell, a market that wants it, and a value structure that rewards quality. If you have one, treat it with care. If you find one, look closely. You might just be holding a coin that is worth far more than you ever imagined, and that is the kind of discovery that keeps the thrill of collecting alive. Second coin, the legendary 1950 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, is one of those hidden treasures that continues to excite collectors around the world. And today, we're uncovering why this small copper coin could hold an unexpectedly powerful value. Struck in 1950 at the Denver Mint, this coin carries the iconic D Mint mark, making it instantly recognizable to serious coin hunters and beginners alike. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln. By 1950, these coins were already a beloved part of American history, widely circulated but quietly being collected by those who understood their long-term potential. What makes the 1950 DPenny so special is not just its age, but the story it represents. Post-World War II America was entering a new era of growth and prosperity, and coins like this were part of everyday life. Every purchase, every transaction carried a piece of history in the palm of your hand. Now let's talk about demand, because that's where things get exciting. Thousands of collectors across the globe are actively searching for wheat pennies, especially those from the Denver Mint. Online marketplaces, auctions, and coin shows constantly see high interest in these coins, with demand continuing to grow year after year. The reason so many people want this coin is simple. It combines historical importance, collectible appeal, and the possibility of high-grade rarity. The better the condition, the more intense the competition becomes among buyers. When it comes to current value, even an average 1950 D wheat penny can attract attention and sell quickly. But here, where things truly become fascinating, in higher grades, especially uncirculated or mint-state condition, the value can climb dramatically. Collectors are willing to pay strong prices for coins that have sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear. These premium examples can turn a simple penny into something far more valuable than its face value. And now, imagine discovering one in near-perfect condition. Coins graded at the highest levels have been known to reach impressive prices at auctions, sometimes climbing into hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on quality. But the real excitement lies in the maximum potential. Rare error varieties or exceptionally preserved coins can push the value even higher. In the right circumstances, a 1950 D wheat penny could reach extraordinary levels that surprise even experienced collectors. This is why people never stop checking their old coins. That small copper piece you might overlook could actually be a valuable collectible waiting to be discovered. Another reason for its rising popularity is the limited number of high-grade survivors. While millions were minted, far fewer remain in pristine condition today. Time, circulation, and wear have reduced the number of top-quality examples. As supply decreases and demand increases, the value naturally moves upward. This is the classic formula that drives the coin collecting market, and the 1950 D penny fits perfectly into this pattern. The design itself also adds to its appeal. Featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat ears on the back, it represents a timeless era of American coinage that many collectors deeply admire. Every detail on this coin tells a story, from the bold lettering to the texture of the wheat stalks. In higher grades, these features become even more striking, making the coin highly desirable. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are investing in history. That emotional and historical connection is what keeps demand strong and prices climbing. If you're holding one of these coins, you're holding a piece of the past that continues to gain attention in the present. And the best part is, its future potential remains incredibly promising. The market for wheat pennies is still growing, with new collectors entering the space every year. This fresh demand adds even more energy to coins like the 1950 D. Some collectors specifically focus only on Denver Mint coins, making the D mint mark even more valuable in their eyes. This targeted demand can push prices higher in competitive sales. Imagine finding one in your collection, or even in loose change. That moment alone could turn into a rewarding discovery that many people dream about. The excitement of coin collecting comes from exactly this possibility. A small, ordinary-looking coin could actually be something extraordinary. As time goes on, coins like the 1950 D Wheat Penny continue to gain recognition. More collectors are learning about them, and more buyers are entering the market. So if you have one, take a closer look. Examine its condition, check for sharp details, and consider its potential, because what you're holding might be far more valuable than you ever imagined. And remember, in the world of coin collecting, it only takes one coin to change everything.